Hello, nerds! Thank you for watching Generally Nerdy. This is your week in Nerdom for March 3rd, 2020. We've got a lot of stuff going on. As you see, more reaction things have been going up on the channel. There's a couple more scheduled to go up over the next day or two. So keep your eyes open for those. As far as this episode is concerned, though, we have, honestly, a little bit of everything. We've got a music update for Mulan, which I find interesting. We've got a Spawn update, hell yeah. We have a She-Hulk update, not a rumor, so that's a thing. And then we've got a sizable rumor mill. Not a giant one, but it's big-ish. So let's hit the intro. All right, so that was the intro, and this is the news. We've got a fair amount of stuff going on. Before we get into the news, I have just a touch of housekeeping. There are a couple of things happening throughout the next 2 to 3 months that we may or may not have to skip an episode here or there. And also with movie premieres that are coming out that I'm not going to be covering for Big Show Entertainment Network. That are still nerdy. Very specifically, I'm thinking of Bloodshot. You can check out the website, generallynerdy.net, for a written review, assuming things go as planned. So, that being said, let's get into the news. And starting things off, we have music. I'm just going to come out with the probably the more interesting, well, I don't know. The second one's pretty interesting too, but the first one is the first thing I got kind of interested about while doing the research for today's episode, and it is Mulan. So pop music being a thing that I have a love-hate relationship with, Christina Aguilara has just made the official announcement. I'm just going to come out with the news bit and then we'll talk about it. She is re-recording her song Reflection for the new Mulan soundtrack. Now, okay, this is the song that kind of made her a viable solo pop artist, vocalist, I guess. So that was however many years ago for the first animated Mulan. I think it's really interesting that it's kind of come, she's pop royalty at this point, and she's coming back to the thing that really put her on the map. Yes, I know she was in the Mickey Mouse Club. I understand that that's a thing, but really this song was, wow, she has the pipes, she can do it. And I'm very interested to see the two. Maybe we'll do a comparison video. Maybe. But yeah, so that's what we've got there. Next, we're moving over to the other super interesting piece of music news, which is Mr. Bungle. I know. Very strange transition, right? So Mr. Bungle has been teasing on their social medias, very specifically their Instagram, that they may or may not be in the studio. And this time, there's a little bit more of a tease in there in that they kind of sort of call out Scott Ian very specifically, because it seems that since he was the guitar player for their reunion shows, it now seems that he's going to be the guitar player on whatever new music they're working on in the studio, which is interesting. I'm not the hugest Scott Ian fan, though he is probably one of the more recognizable faces of modern metal, so I'm intrigued, to say the least. No word yet on any sort of scheduling or releases or anything like that, just teasing that, hey, we're in the studio doing a thing and we're not going to tell you what it is. So, yeah. As more comes out, we'll be talking about it. And then our last piece is kind of half self-promotion and half just morbid curiosity. So it was announced, this actually was announced last week, a new tour in July called the New Metal Revival Tour. That's right, New Metal Revival. So on the bill, the reason why this is self-promotion, on the bill we have Saliva without Josie Scott. Josie Scott is still apparently working on Christian rock these days, which is apparently how that split happened. So he is not going to be with the band. It's whoever the guy is that replaced him, they still have him. So Powerman 5000, Adema, and Flaw and Andrew W. Boss. I don't know who Andrew W. Boss is, but the other bands I do know. And one of those other bands I'm actually going to be opening for in like 3 weeks. So interesting. I'm opening for Powerman 5000 in Greeley, Colorado on the 25th, I believe it is, at the Moxie Theater. So, you know, if you happen to be into such things, then you can come out and say hey. So yeah, but it will be happening in July. The new metal revival tour will be starting in July. I don't know how successful this is going to be because I honestly feel like Powerman 5000... Well, okay, I take it back. Saliva technically sold more records, but they went out of vogue so much faster than Powerman 5000. It'll be really interesting to see the turnout for these shows. But that's what we've got there. Let's move now over to TV streaming is where we are. TV streaming, we only have two pieces, but the first one is an interesting one in that it has to do with She-Hulk. We've been only dealing in rumors for She-Hulk for so long. It's nice to finally have a piece of almost hard evidence, or almost hard news for it. I say almost because it comes directly from Mark Ruffalo. He made the announcement this past weekend at C2E2 that he is in preliminary talks to be in some way, shape, or form in the new She-Hulk series. Whether it's going to be a cameo, whether it's going to be whatever, still remains to be seen. But it is very likely going to happen because, I mean, come on, he's the Hulk right now, right? So maybe his price is a little too high. We don't know until it happens. But, you know, like I said, almost hard news that he's working on at least being in She-Hulk. And then our other piece is a casting piece of news, and this is American Horror Story just released their cast list for their season 10 or 11, whatever. I lost count. I think it's 11, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Anyway, they just announced it. They not only have they announced that they're going into season 11, but they have been renewed, should they want to be, all the way up through season 13. So if that is the end of American Horror Story, Lord only knows. But, all right, we're getting ahead of ourselves. The casting announcement involves a very interesting selection, and that very interesting selection is Macaulay Culkin. Kevin McAllister is going to be in American Horror Story, and not just like a random cameo or something. He is listed as a season regular, so he's going to have some sort of support or dominant role in this season. Yeah, okay, I can get behind that. Again, kind of just out of morbid curiosity because I don't know. I don't know how to feel about Macaulay. His little brother is a great actor, so I can only imagine Macaulay's still a great actor, but what was the last thing you saw him in? It was probably like a decade or more ago, right? So yeah, we'll see how this one turns out as we get into the next season of American Horror Story. That's all we've got for TV streaming, though, now. We are moving into movies, and first thing we have in movies is an announcement from Todd McFarlane saying that Spawn will be in front of a camera before the end of this year. That's all he could say for certain, but he said it at Fan Expo Vancouver. And he said thank you to the Joker rather specifically because of the dark nature of the Joker, and Spawn obviously is a very dark comic book. It's because of the Joker's success that he was able to get to be able to guarantee that he will be filming by the end of the year. So we will be seeing Spawn very, very likely probably by the end of 2021. That will probably hit theaters. I would imagine they would be shooting for like an October release. But again, they haven't announced any dates for anything yet. Just it will be filming before we close out this year. How long before? Don't know. So that's what we've got there. And then our next piece is one of my favorite things because we've kind of known this one was coming for a long time, but it just got announced that Baby Driver 2 2 is officially into pre-production. Edgar Wright says that he's been working on the script for some time, and we've kind of sort of mentioned that, but it was months and months ago, because that's when he said he started the work, was literally like a few months after the premiere of Baby Driver 1. So 2 will see the return of Ansel Elgort, Lily James, John Bernthal, Michael Peter Balzary, and CJ Jones. Sorry if I butchered that Balzary name. They will all be reprising their roles from the first film, and Baby Driver is always a win. That movie was so great. Edgar Wright is such a fantastic director that I am chomping at the bit for this one to be released now, dang it, now. All right, so yeah, that's what we've got for movie news. Now we're going to talk a little bit of gaming news. Like I said, there is gaming rumor to be had, so stick around for the rumor mill. But gaming news, we have Death Stranding. The official announcement for the PC release date has been made. That will be June 2nd. There's also going to be bonus material in Death Stranding, not the least of which is going to be a head crab that you're playing as the main character. What is it, Sam, whatever. You can wear a head crab from Half-Life. So it's a little Easter egg thing. It didn't say if it's just decorative or if there's some sort of benefit to wearing the head crab, but either way, that's kind of awesome. I cannot wait for the images of the people playing through this game with a head crab the whole way through. But then we also have, it will include support for ultra-wide monitors, and you'll have a photo mode. So a couple of extras just for waiting so long for the release on PC. Not a bad deal. And then the other thing is another announcement for an existing game. Mario Kart Tour, the mobile version of Mario Kart, so you can get it on your Android and iOS, has announced that they will be doing multiplayer. Finally! They will finally be launching multiplayer on March 8th. So if you have the game, and why wouldn't you? It's probably bigger than Pokemon at this point. Then you can finally play against people. You can play against people online. You can play against people that are just in your vicinity. All the mix and match stuff that you would expect a mobile game to be able to do, this one is going to do. So that's freaking awesome. And we're moving on. Next, we are into comic books and literature. And so comic books is... there wasn't a whole lot, but I did find some stuff. So first off is probably the biggest announcement that Marvel has had in a little while. It's that Ultraman is coming to Marvel Comics. The writers are going to be Kyle Higgins and Matt Groom. Higgins, you'll recognize his name from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers books, and he wrote on the Winter Soldier for a minute. Matt Groom was Self-Made, was his book. And then art by Francesco Manna. They announced it. This is another C2E2 announcement. So they announced it over the weekend at C2E2. It will be on the shelves later this year. They didn't have an official release date or even month that I could find, but it will be before year's end. So I would imagine probably... for a comic book, first book, we're looking maybe September into October, but again, we won't know until they make the official announcement or we get the previews. So next, we have Sword of X. The Jonathan Hickman X-Men revival is just moving right along. This is going to be the next book, the next big overarching story that Hickman does. Only this one is not going to be the entire Marvel Universe. It's only going to be the X-Men side of everything. It's going to be something to do with Krakoa. Couldn't really find a whole lot, again, because we don't have previews for it yet, but it was, again, announced C2E2. This one, though, does have a month attached to it, and it's July is when we're going to start seeing Sword of X. That's all we have there for comic books and literature. Now we are finally into the rumor mill. And the rumor mill is where... we've got a lot to talk about. Well, more to talk about than the other places, I guess. So first and foremost, we have Joe Quesada. This is a comic book rumor. So if you're not reading comic books, maybe you're not interested in this rumor. Maybe you want to skip forward like 30 seconds. So Joe Quesada is was an editor, just got demoted to just writer, I feel like, if memory serves. Kevin Feige having taken over all things Marvel, and also not being big on Ike Perlmutter's things that he instilled, Quesada being one of them, demoted Quesada. And so now there is rumor, because all of this has happened, there's rumor that Quesada, who is really good friends with Brian Michael Bendis, who is now writing over at DC, is going to take the vacant editor spot over at DC and become the new head editor for DC Comics. Very interesting shakeup. Can't say it's going to be a bad move either way, but it's just a rumor, so we don't know, and we're moving on. Next, we're talking about the Joker. And this is not the Joker the movie. This is the character of the Joker. So we actually have two rumors about this one. So first off, we have Warner Brothers is looking to cast the Joker. They're kind of going on the fact that Matt Reeves' Batman movie is going to be successful enough to justify the trilogy that he's signed on for. So now they're starting to kick around ideas for who could be the Joker, presumably for the second Joker, or the second Batman movie, but that Matt Reeves does. And one of the names that they're kicking around, reportedly, because this name always gets reportedly kicked around when they're looking to cast the Joker, is Johnny Depp. Now, with the recent craziness that Johnny Depp has gone through in the news, and the revival of enthusiasm that the fans have for Depp, this one kind of feels like it has a little bit more legs than it has in years past, though it is still very much a rumor. And so the other rumor that we're looking at is Ben Barnes, who is rumored to be in the pile as well. So Ben Barnes played Jigsaw in the Punisher series, and the rumor, I feel like one of the rumors that I read with his name attached to it was potentially another one-off movie involving the Joker and not the Matt Reeves movie. But signals could be getting crossed somewhere, so it very well potentially could be both or neither or either. That's why rumors are fun, because it's all speculative, right? So that's what we've got for the Joker. Next, we're talking about the Power Rangers, and yes, they are officially rebooting the Power Rangers movie universe. That's not news. We've talked about that already. But the rumor is that we're going to be seeing Jason David Frank and Amy Jo Johnson reprise their roles as the original
Green Ranger
and Pink Ranger, respectively, in the new reboot that Paramount is looking to make, or is in pre-production. That part is still pretty muddy. I don't know exactly where this exists, aside from the fact that they do have writers working on a new script. So, be interesting to see the original, the Tommy and Kimberly. I don't know if they're going to play any sort of major role, but it'll be cool, I guess. But that's what we've got there. Rumors being rumors. We're going to move on. More Batman rumors, of course, always with the Batman. So Gotham by Gaslight is now being rumored to come, not animated movie. We already got that. We're rumored to be getting a live action Gotham by Gaslight. And the other half of this rumor is equally as interesting. John Barenthal is being rumored to be the man that they want under the cowl in this Victorian version of The Dark Knight. So, could be kind of awesome. I could totally see Barenthal being Bruce Wayne, like Victorian, any version of Bruce Wayne, actually. So, yeah, I can, if this one has any kind of legs, which, again, Warner Brothers is really playing a lot really close to the chest, but the rumor says that they're looking to do more of those Elseworlds one-off style movies. So the Joker maybe kind of lit a different kind of fire, even though we already knew that they were looking to do this Black Label style stuff. Though Gotham by Gaslight isn't exactly Black Label, it's a little more mainstream, so I don't know. We'll see where this one goes, but it does feel like it has some legs because of the success of the Joker once again. So there's also rumor that they're going to be doing another movie in the universe of Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, and because there was I believe it was a tweet. Someone went to Twitter that was involved with the movie and said that Joaquin Phoenix's Joker is not, quote unquote, the Joker in that movie. He is the proto Joker. The proto Joker is my addition. But any of these Joker rumors could be for a sequel to The Joker, where some guy was inspired by Joaquin's Joker and he takes... Yeah, that's also a rumor going around. So there you go. Bonus Joker rumor. Now we're talking about the freaking rumor that just won't die, and it's the Snyder Cut. And I honestly saw two separate things related to this. First off is Zack Snyder took to Twitter and posted pictures with the slate, the action, click. Or scene 1, take 5, click. That's the button. So he posted one of those, and it was kind of a trolly thing that he added to the back of the slate, talking about in the event that we need to do reshoots, blah, blah, blah. So he's kind of teasing that maybe reshoots are going to happen. So that's one of the rumors, is kind of being fueled by Zack Snyder himself. The other rumor is that Warner Brothers is actually on board now with the releasing of the Snyder Cut. They're calling it Justice League, or Zack Snyder's The Justice League, not just Justice League. So that's a change, and it's rumored to be 214 minutes, if memory serves, 214 minutes long, but they do need to do some more coverage. They need to do some reshoots. They need to get Ben Affleck back in the cape and cowl, and Henry Cavill in the blue underwear. Because of the fact that they're saying, well, we need to do reshoots, I don't think this is going to happen. I have not been on board with the Snyder Cut nonsense from the beginning. It's not going to happen. We are not going to see this dang movie. But the rumors persist, so we gotta talk about them. But that's all we've got for those rumors. Now we're going to move into our final rumor for the episode, and it is a video game rumor. So all of you horror gamers out there, salt shakers at the ready, baby, because there is some trolling going on over at Kojima Productions. That's right, Hideo Kojima, the guy who brought us Metal Gear and was going to bring us Silent Hill. One of his producers took to the official Kojima Productions Twitter and posted a picture that really seems to imply that they're working or going to start working on that Silent Hill game that we never got. Or another Silent Hill game that hopefully is equally as good or better. So yes, please, make this a real thing. In the tweet, there's reference to next week. So maybe if an announcement is coming down the pike, it is going to happen next week. Crossing fingers and hoping really, really, really hard. But that is all we have for rumors, guys. And it's actually the end of the episode. So what did I miss? What should we talk about in the next one? Let me know in the comments down below. If, though, you want to go deeper into the conversation, jump over to the website, generallynerdy.net. And you can find all of the things linked from their social medias, all of the writing. Again, I'm going to try and start doing more written movie reviews because filming and editing takes entirely too much time right now, and I've got so much on my plate. So I could probably do a couple paragraphs on movies that I'm watching. Anyway, so yeah, that's what's going on over the website. Or if you want more video content, there is more of that over on the Patreon, patreon.com/generallynerdy. You can find all of those things, the nerd rants very specifically, all of the back catalog of episodes, audio episodes, everything goes up to the Patreon, so go check that out. And yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. You know, the thumbs up is a good thing. The thumbs down is okay too if you feel so inclined. Before we go though, guys, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.